Imagine this scene playing out in two different homes on the same street. Two families. Same income. Same city. Same basic circumstances. They both work hard. They both earn about the same amount every year. They both want the best for their children and their future. Family A buys a huge, beautiful house. 4 bedrooms. Tall ceilings in the entrance. A staircase that looks like something from a movie. Granite countertops. A master suite with a bathroom bigger than some apartments. It looks like success. It looks like they have arrived. Family B buys a smaller, simpler home. Nothing flashy. Nothing impressive. 3 bedrooms. Normal ceilings. A kitchen that works but does not make you stop and stare. A house that feels comfortable but does not scream for attention. 10 years later, something has changed. Something dramatic. Something that was invisible when they signed the papers. Family A is stressed. Living paycheck to paycheck. Constantly worried about money. Every unexpected expense feels like a crisis. The roof needs repair and they do not have the cash. The water heater dies and they have to put it on a credit card. They lie awake at night doing the math, trying to figure out how to make it all work. Family B has savings. Investments. Freedom. Peace of mind. They have money in the bank. They have a portfolio growing in the background. They sleep well at night. They have options. Same income. Different house. Very different future. Today I am going to show you the truth about big houses. The part nobody explains before you sign the mortgage papers. The part the real estate agents do not mention and the lenders do not calculate. Because sometimes your dream house is not building your future. It is quietly destroying it. Part 1. The biggest financial illusion. Most people think the cost of a house is the mortgage payment. That is what they focus on. That is what they compare. That is what they decide they can afford. If the bank says your payment will be $2,800 per month, you think, okay, that is the price. That is what this house costs. But that is not the price. That is just the ticket to enter the game. That is the cover charge. The real cost comes later, every single month, in ways you may not have considered. Owning a large house is like buying a giant pet dinosaur. You do not just feed it once. You do not just pay the adoption fee and move on. You feed it every single day. And the bigger the dinosaur, the more it eats. Here is what people forget when they fall in love with square footage. Property taxes, which are higher on a more expensive house and often increase over time. Insurance, which costs more to cover a larger structure. Heating and cooling, because every extra room needs to be warm in winter and cool in summer. Water bills for more bathrooms, more showers, more toilets, more landscaping. Maintenance, because bigger houses have more things that can break. Repairs, because roofs and furnaces and appliances do not care how much you love your home, they just fail when they fail. Furniture, because empty rooms do not stay empty forever. Landscaping, because larger yards require more work and more money. HOA fees, because many neighborhoods charge for amenities you may not even use. The bigger the house, the bigger every single one of those numbers becomes. A 3,000 square foot house does not just cost more to buy. It costs dramatically more to operate every single month for as long as you own it. And the difference compounds over time. Year after year. The extra costs do not go away. They just keep adding up. Part 2. The hidden monthly drain. Let us make this simple enough for a 10-year-old to understand. So simple that anyone can see the trap. Imagine you buy 2 backpacks. One is small. One is huge. You are going to carry them to school every day. Which one is easier to carry? The small one, obviously. Lighter. Less strain. Less effort. Now imagine that every month you have to fill that backpack with rocks. Not just carry it, but fill it. You have no choice. That is your obligation. The big backpack holds more rocks. That is the problem. You have to put more rocks in it every month. More weight. More strain. More effort. That is what a large house does. More space means more things that require money. More air to cool in summer. More air to heat in winter. More lights to run. More bathrooms to clean and maintain. More plumbing that can leak. More roof that can fail. More walls to paint. More floors to cover. Everything multiplied. Every cost bigger. Every month more expensive. Now here is the part that nobody calculates, the part that is invisible when you are standing in that beautiful house imagining your life there. If a large home costs $20,000 more per year to operate than a smaller one, that is $20,000 you cannot invest. That is $20,000 that does not go into your future. That is $20,000 that just disappears into heating bills and repairs and all the extra costs of size. And money not invested today becomes hundreds of thousands lost tomorrow. It is not just the money you spend. It is the money that money would have earned over decades. Part 3. The compound effect nobody sees. Let us do the math so there is no confusion. So clear that you can see exactly what is at stake. Let us say you save $20,000 per year instead of spending it on extra house space. Maybe you buy a smaller home. Maybe you stay in a reasonable house instead of stretching for the biggest one. Maybe you choose freedom over square footage. If you invest that $20,000 every year at 8% annual return, here is what happens over time. After 5 years, you have over $120,000. Not just the money you saved, but the growth on that money. Compounding starting to work. After 10 years, you have over $300,000. The numbers are getting bigger. The curve is starting to bend upward. After 20 years, you have over $900,000. Almost $1 million. From choosing a smaller house and investing the difference. That is not magic. That is math. That is compound growth doing what it does when you give it time and space to work. The oversized house does not just cost more today. It steals your future growth. It takes money that could be working for you and turns it into heating bills and property taxes and maintenance costs that are gone forever. The tragedy is this. People think they are building wealth because they own a big house. They look at the value on paper and feel successful. But in reality, the house is preventing them from building wealth elsewhere. The money that could be growing in investments is trapped in walls and roofs and square footage that does not produce anything. Part 4. The emotional trap. Now let us talk about something deeper. Something that goes beyond math and spreadsheets and into the human heart. Why do people buy bigger homes than they need? Why do they stretch for the largest house they can possibly afford? Why does family A choose the 4-bedroom showplace while family B picks the modest 3-bedroom? It is not about space. Most families do not actually need that much room. 2 people can only sleep in 1 bed. A family of 4 can live comfortably in much less square footage than we think. It is about identity. That is the real driver. A big house feels like proof. Proof that you made it. Proof that you succeeded. Proof that you are not behind. Proof that you are doing as well as everyone else. When guests come over and see the tall ceilings and the fancy entrance and the spacious rooms, they are impressed. They think you have done well. They see success written in the architecture. But here is the uncomfortable truth. The truth that no one mentions at the dinner party. A house cannot give you financial security. Only cash flow and investments can do that. Only money in the bank and assets that grow can provide real safety. And many people choose appearance over security. They choose the impression over the reality. They choose what guests will see twice a year over what they will live with 365 days a year. You do not sleep in 4 bedrooms. You sleep in 1. You do not cook in 3 kitchens. You use 1. You do not shower in every bathroom. You have your own. But you heat them all. You insure them all. You repair them all. You pay for them all. Part 5. The McMansion problem. There is another layer to this that people do not consider when they are looking at new construction homes in the suburbs. Another hidden cost built into those oversized houses. Many large suburban homes, the ones people call McMansions, are built quickly and cheaply. They look big. They look impressive from the outside. But inside, the quality is not what you think. Builder-grade cabinets that will not last. Thin materials chosen to keep costs down. Low-quality flooring that will need replacement in a few years. Systems designed to meet minimum standards, not to last for decades. Bigger often means corners were cut to keep the price per square foot competitive. To make the numbers work. To sell the dream at a price people can afford. In 8 to 12 years, the big repairs start arriving. The roof needs replacement, and it is a big roof, so that is expensive. The FACS systems, maybe 2 or 3 of them for a large house, need to be replaced. Water heaters fail. Exterior repairs accumulate. Those bills do not care if you feel successful. They do not care if you have a nice entrance. They do not care about your tall ceilings. They care if you have cash. They care if you can pay. And many homeowners do not have the cash. Because all their money goes into maintaining the size instead of building financial strength. They are house rich and cash poor, a dangerous place to be. Part 6. What actually creates happiness? Here is something interesting that researchers have studied for decades. Something that contradicts everything advertising and culture tell us. After a certain point, more space does not increase happiness. It does not make you more satisfied with your life. It does not improve your relationships. It does not make you feel more fulfilled. What does increase happiness? What actually makes a difference in how people feel about their lives? Financial security. Knowing that you have a cushion. Knowing that you can handle surprises. Knowing that you are not one emergency away from disaster. Low stress. Not lying awake at night wondering how you will make it work. Not feeling the weight of obligations pressing down on you. Time freedom. Being able to choose how you spend your days. Not being chained to a job you hate because the bills are too high. Flexibility. The ability to change directions, to try new things, to say yes to opportunities. Emergency savings. Money in the bank that means a broken furnace is an inconvenience, not a crisis. The ability to say no. To things you do not want. To people who drain you. To jobs that do not serve you. A modest, well-sized home that costs 25 to 30% of your income creates room in your budget. Room equals breathing space. Breathing space equals peace. Peace equals happiness. Not square footage. Not tall ceilings. Not an impressive entrance. Peace. Part 7. The freedom equation. Let me give you a simple rule. A test you can apply to any house you are considering. A way to know if you are buying freedom or buying a trap. If your house costs so much that you cannot save at least 15% of your income for retirement, the house is too expensive. Full stop. No exceptions. If your house costs so much that you cannot build an emergency fund with 3 to 6 months of expenses, the house is too expensive. If your house costs so much that you cannot invest consistently every month, the house is too expensive. If your house costs so much that you cannot sleep peacefully at night, the house is too expensive. It does not matter what the bank approved. It does not matter what the lender said you could afford. Banks calculate risk for them, not freedom for you. They want to know if you can make the payment, not if you can build a life. The smartest move is rarely the biggest house you qualify for. The smartest move is often half of that. Buy smaller than you can afford. Invest the difference every single month. Let compound growth do the heavy lifting. Part 8. The truth about success. Let me leave you with a different way to think about what success really means. Success is not the biggest house on the street. That is what marketing wants you to believe. That is what keeps people spending and striving and never feeling like they have enough. Success is having options. Real options that change your life. The option to change careers without panic. The option to take time off when you are burned out. The option to start a business without risking everything. The option to help your family when they need it. The option to retire early if you want to. The option to say no to things that do not serve you. Big houses impress neighbors. Investments impress your future self. Big houses get attention now. Investments create freedom later. You can look wealthy, or you can quietly become wealthy. Very rarely can you do both at the same time. The choice is yours. Part 9. The final message. So next time you are looking at houses, next time you feel the pull of something bigger and more impressive, ask yourself a few questions. Is this building my freedom? Or is it buying applause? Is this creating options? Or is it creating obligations? Will I sleep better in this house? Or will I sleep worse? The answers matter more than the square footage. The answers determine your future. If this video changed how you see your dream home, if it made you think differently about what really matters, hit subscribe and join this channel. Because here we talk about money the way it really works. Simple. Honest. Clear enough for anyone to understand. No complicated jargon. No get-rich-quick schemes. Just the truth about building a life that works. And next time, before you upgrade your lifestyle, before you sign for a bigger house, ask yourself that question. Is this building my freedom? Or is it buying applause? I will see you in the next video.